in 1980, a British band came back home to England from touring Japan, and they were on tour for like 9 months or a year or something. On the last night of the tour, the Roland Corporation gave them each this newfangled product that they just came out, and it was called a drum machine. And it was apparently the first one ever. The Roland CR78. So they gave this to the band as a gift, and they took it home. And of course the drummer was like, I'm a drummer, I don't need a drum machine. But he took it home anyways, because, you know, it was free. And he gets home and finds that his house is empty. His wife took the kids and all of their stuff and left. I guess that's what you get for being a touring musician. So here he is stuck at home, and the band is on hiatus, and so he decides to start putting together his own solo album, and he has recording equipment at home. And so he comes up with this song. And in the 1980s, there was like an urban legend that he saw somebody drowning somewhere and couldn't help, and that's what the song is about. And basically what he said was he found some chords that he liked. He sat down and just started playing and singing the song, coming up with the melody and the words right off the top of his head, which is crazy. He needed something to play along to, so he pulls out this newfangled drum machine that he just got, the CR78, and he presses the second preset called Disco Number 2. And that sounds something like this. But then what he did is he slowed down the tempo from 140 beats per minute to 95 beats per minute. And then it started to sound like this.
Told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am. I was there and I saw what you did, saw it with my own two eyes. I know where you've been, solving a pack of lies. And I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Oh Lord, can you feel it coming? show, but the pain still grows. No stranger to you and me. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, but I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Oh Lord, can't you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Oh Lord, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Oh Lord, can't you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, well, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Oh Lord.
So, why is this song one of the more important songs to come out of the 1980s? Two reasons, I think. In 1980, Phil was playing drums on the first Peter Gabriel solo album, and the mixing board had something called a reverse talkback mic, which was brand new at the time. So Phil is in the recording booth playing drums, and Peter Gabriel and the producer are in the control room listening, and they were taking a break, but Phil was still playing drums, and the sound of Phil playing drums was coming back through the reverse talkback mic, which was a microphone so you could talk to each other through two sound isolated rooms. And this microphone had a compressor on it that makes soft sounds loud and loud sounds soft. And it also had a noise gate on it, which once the volume of something drops to a certain level, the noise gate kicks in and stops the sound completely. Which, if you have a microphone sitting in a room just for talking to people, once everybody stops talking, you don't want to hear the electrical hum coming out of the outlets or whatever. So this noise gate would kick in. But what happened was, Phil's playing drums in this room that's surrounded by bricks and rocks that's really echoey. So there's this huge drum sound, and then there's a compressor on it making an even bigger sound. And then on top of all that, there's a noise gate that kicks in at a certain level, which chokes the sound. So you have this big splash of a sound that's instantly choked. And it became known as the gated drum sound, which is the Phil Collins drum sound of the 1980s. And although the first time that was used was on Peter Gabriel's song Intruder, the first song that came out that was a huge hit with that sound was this one. And once that came out, then all of a sudden everybody wanted to use it. So if you're listening to Born in the USA from Bruce Springsteen or Dancing in the Dark or whatever, to everyone, whether it was alternative or heavy metal or whatever, everybody was using the sound. The entire decade would sound completely different if they didn't come upon that sound by accident. So that's a pretty big deal. This song was also used in the pilot episode of a TV show called Miami Vice. If you don't know Miami Vice, it was a crazy show. It mixed music and a cop show together. The head of NBC wrote down on a napkin MTV Cops, and that's how he invented this show. And although the show is a bit of a joke when you watch The Wedding Singer and stuff like that, it did have a record number of Emmy nominations for the first season. It was the most expensive show of its time, which today would be about $4 million per episode. They had crazy policies like no earth tones. So anything in the picture, whether it was a car or clothes or a building, there were no reds or browns allowed. So if they were filming on the streets of Miami in front of a giant red brick building, they would paint it before the scene. Pink or aquamarine or whatever. It was crazy. Who does that? But the very first episode of that show was a 2-hour TV movie, and they put the movie together and they were editing it and they were pretty much done. And the director came up with a last minute idea. Let's put Phil Collins in the air tonight in this driving sequence where they're going after the bad guy at the end. Totally last minute, off the cuff. And that moment sort of galvanized what that whole show was. And it became a huge hit. And what's important about that is everything that you know about the 1980s, like fashion, like not wearing socks and wearing blazers with sleeves rolled up, all of the colors, all of the neon colors and aquamarines and corals, all came from that show. And that show might not have been the hit that it was if they didn't include this song at the end of the pilot episode, which is fantastic, by the way. So this song that Phil just sat down and played off the top of his head because he was suddenly getting divorced and totally bummed out. It just came to him as a gift, and it really helped shape an entire decade. The drum fill, the massive drum fill that everybody goes on about, was just whatever he played on that take. So if he had accidentally dropped a drumstick and they had to record it the second time in a row, he would have played a different fill that he said. And that's crazy. Next month, I will be doing another iconic song of the 1980s. I'm going to enlist the help of my 7 and 9-year-olds to just play some little percussion pieces. I just want to get them involved a little bit. They're more into dancing and TikTok right now than music or, singing or playing instruments, but it'll be fun. I just want to do something a little fun with the family, and tackling another iconic song from the 80s is a little intimidating, but it'll be fun. So anyways, for the 9 people that follow this on Facebook, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.